All right, guys, we are live on YouTube, so welcome. I see a few people already leaving comments, so this is going to be a fun night. I'm excited. I think Lance is excited as well. So we have been searching the internet high and low for one of the best zero DTE SPX credit spread traders out there. Lance has already done phenomenally well in this last year. So in 2024, Lance made 50% on his zero DTE SPX trading account, which has been phenomenal. But we've come across Phil, and Phil is going to talk about how he actually made 92% on his trading account doing zero DTE SPX trades, just one trade daily at exact fixed time. And this is the crazy thing. The timing matters. So if you can put aside a time that you can take a trade, like a zero DTE SPX credit spread trade, then you can basically plan your whole day around what time you're doing the trade, right? So you can be like, okay, I'm putting this time aside to take a trade. And, I spent a while looking, and Lance looked, and we found Phil. And we're excited to be doing this tonight with Phil. He's going to talk about his strategy. We're doing a pre-recorded sort of segment that Phil did. So the hope here is that Phil can introduce himself, basically, via this recording, and then we can chat live. You can see he's on the screen right now, but we're going to talk live after that. And any questions that you guys have, we can talk about those during it. Lance and I and Phil are all going to be in the chat while you're doing this. Hey guys, I see Salem here, William saying howdy, Aaron saying good evening, everyone. So yeah, lots of people here. Glenn Accord saying sup. Yep, it's going to be a good night. I'm excited about this. I think we're starting to see some people coming in now. And so what we're going to do is we're going to run Phil's introduction here. He put together a little intro for you, and then you can get to know him more personally via this media right that we're doing tonight. So it should be a lot of fun. So if you can hold off on questions that are really technical until we can actually answer them on voice chat, we're going to run Phil's zero DTE credit spread strategy little recording that he's done to really give you the answers very clear and concisely to what you guys probably want to know. So yeah, let's get going. So Phil, if you want to run your recording, we'll go full screen here and just get started. Actually, Phil, before you start, just 1 second. So one thing I do want to point out is we do have the competition going. So for you guys that are here for the prize draw, you still have the chance to enter the prize draw. So I know we've been promoting this last week, basically a giveaway. So you have a chance to win a giveaway to this service, which is worth $300. So I just want to give you guys one last chance to join. So I'm going to post the link in the chat here for you guys. So I'm just posting it right now. It's popping up here. So if you haven't joined the giveaway yet, we'll be doing the giveaway probably half an hour into this call. And so if you want to sign up, the link is in the chat right now. Unfortunately, if you're watching the replay, this is going to be done and dusted by then. So however, if you're watching right now, just check out the link I just posted in the chat, and you can sign up for the giveaway. And we'll pick a winner at random. Lance usually picks a random number, or we'll have Phil pick a random number tonight and see who wins. So anyway, just wanted to make sure I snuck that in there. We're ready to go. So if you want to run your recording that you just did earlier, and then we can get going.
All right.
I'm not hearing any sound yet.
The credit spread.
There we go. I think it just started.
Well, let me start by thanking everyone who is here for the live stream tonight or watching the recorded live stream later. And special thanks to Russell and Lance for having me on tonight. So I'm really excited to share a bit about my zero DTE credit spread strategy. I think you'll find that this strategy is simple, structured, and designed for consistency. But before we dive into all the details of the system, let me tell you a little bit about my journey. So my name is Phil, and over the past 22 years, I've built multiple businesses in the real estate and finance industries. Those are two industries that have always fascinated me. But when it came to the stock market, I definitely had a blind spot. It was a mystery, and I had no idea where to even begin learning. That changed in late 2019. I had just sold one of my most successful ventures, and I finally had the time and the resources to explore some new opportunities. I just so happened to stumble across a YouTube video talking about crypto trading and showing off this cool system, and I was hooked. I started trading on my own. I took courses and I joined a bunch of paid groups. And by 2020, crypto full time. But after a while, I grew tired of all the volatility in crypto, and I knew it was time to transition into something a little more stable like the stock market. And like most beginners, I started off by buying calls and buying puts. And I quickly realized that that wasn't for me. So I learned about the sell side and I switched over to that. I was selling puts, doing the wheel strategy, doing poor man's covered calls, credit spreads. And in 2021, I was still trading full time, just doing it on the sell side of options on the stock market, but I still couldn't quite find my edge. So in early 22, I put a hold on trading and shifted my focus back to another business. But then in March of 2023, something changed. I met someone through my business, a very wealthy individual who happened to be a day trader. We started talking, and I told him a bit about my trading journey, the ups and the downs. And towards the end of our conversation, he gave me one key insight that would go on to form the foundation of my trading strategy. That conversation that we had that day sent me down a rabbit hole. I spent months researching, testing, and refining the approach that he had mentioned. And initially, I was just focused on buy side strategies because that's what he was focused on. But I still preferred the sell side. So I started exploring ways to merge his insights with a sell side strategy like credit spreads. And after tons of tests and back tests, I found something promising, but it still wasn't quite profitable over the long term. But that changed in June of 2023 when I made a crucial tweak to the system, which finally turned it into a profitable, long term winning system. And I launched version one of my strategy, and it worked well, but I knew it could be even better. So at the start of 2024, after a lot more testing and research, I introduced version two, which significantly improved the reliability and the profitability. And since then, I've fine tuned the system even further, optimizing the win rate through both live trading and extensive manual back testing. So fast forward to today, and after hundreds of live trades and years of back testing, I can confidently say that this strategy is stable, repeatable, and highly effective. So what makes this strategy so powerful? Well, it's simple. It's just one ticker. We're not looking at 50 different stocks. We're just looking at SPX. It's one strategy, credit spreads, and it's at the same time every day. It's consistent. There's just one trade a day. We know our entry and exit rules before we even start. It's mechanical. There's no guessing. There's no chasing trades. It's just predefined rules. And that makes the execution easy and effortless. And it's accessible. You don't need a six-figure account to do this type of trading. So how does the strategy work? Well, we're obviously not going to give everything away in the live stream. You'll have to join the Discord to get the alerts and to understand how each of these different paths work. But I'll show you the basics of it so you have an idea of what you're getting yourself into. So the process is really straightforward. Every day at 10:40 a.m. Eastern Time, I send out a trade signal. And that's for a 0 DTE SPX credit spread. So we're opening the position by selling for a credit. And from there, we just follow our trade management rules, which are already set in stone. So there are 3 paths for managing the trade. Path 1 is exiting early for a profit if the trade moves in our favor. That's easy enough. Path 2, if the trade starts to move against us, instead of stopping out, we actually add on to the position so we can improve our average sold price. Then we can adjust our take profit target higher than what it is in path 1, which allows us to get out of some trades that maybe by the end of the day have actually gone against us and have turned the credit spread into a losing trade. And the third path, which actually happened today, is if the market remains stagnant, we exit at a specific time to limit risk. If you were in SPX today, you saw that the market just sort of traded in a very tight range all day. And if you've been trading for a while, you know that that could possibly mean that a big move is coming. So when it's trading like that in that tight range, we just exit, because I don't want to be caught if the trade decides to, or if SPX decides to explode in the opposite direction. We don't want to be part of that, obviously. So this structured approach that we have, it removes emotions from trading, and it makes it easier to stick to the plan and to avoid mistakes that cost a lot of money. So in 2024, this strategy delivered a 92% return on investment. And that's $9,200 in profits if you're just doing 2 to 3 contracts a day. And the chart on the right shows that same amount of money invested in SPY or the Qs, which is the buy and hold strategy last year, compared to what our system has done. And it's a level of consistency that makes this approach so unique. So the overall win rate in 2024 was a little bit over 91%. And if you exclude the small losses, it's a little over 94%. And obviously, we're still in 2025, so we don't have end of year data. But as of right now, our overall win rate is over 94% for this year. And the bottom number is also over 94% because we haven't had any small losses so far this year. So some of the common questions that we get: how do I determine whether we're selling a call or a put? Well, the strategy systematically evaluates market conditions every morning to determine the highest probability direction for that day. We're looking at things like key price levels, volatility, and momentum. And then we decide whether selling a call or a put gives us the best edge. And this is the neat thing about selling credit spreads. The goal is to position ourselves where the market is least likely to go. So we don't have to be entirely correct about the direction that we picked that morning. As long as we stay away from our strike prices, we will make money. So why 10:40 a.m.? And is there another time that would work? Well, I've done extensive manual back testing, years of going through the data myself, not relying on some automated tool or a website that a lot of times will have unreliable results. And I found that 10:40 a.m. is just the best time to enter the trade. I definitely don't enter the trade in the first hour of the day because the market is all over the place. There's a lot of volatility, there's a lot of false moves, and unpredictable swings. So we let all of that kind of work itself out and settle down. And then between 10:30 and 11, when things are settled down and the premiums are still high enough to make it worth it to get in, but premium decay is now working in our favor, that's when we were looking to jump in. And I tested all kinds of times between 10:30 and 11, and even after 11, but 10:40 is consistently the top producer. So that's why we do 10:40. So what's the max loss? The max loss on a single trade is the width of the spread, which in our case, we always do 5 wide, so that's $500, minus the credit received. So we typically receive around 75 cents. Now that can range. It can be anywhere between 50 cents and $1, but the average is around 73 cents. So your max loss is 500 minus, say, 75, so 425. And while some trades may experience intraday drawdown, sometimes even nearing the max loss territory, we avoid reaching it by the end of the session about 94% of the time through our trade management system. And I've tested numerous stop loss strategies because I know that that question usually comes along with this. Why not do a stop loss? Well, I've found that they often cut us out of winning trades way too early. And that's why our approach focuses on intelligent trade management rather than some arbitrary stop loss exit. So how much capital do you need to start with? Well, to trade this strategy with the smallest position, you need to allocate 1,000 to 1,500 per trade. That's 2 to 3 contracts. And we recommend keeping max loss at 5 to 10% of your account. So all that works out to $10,000 to $15,000 as a good starting point. Now, obviously, if you have more than that, you can trade more contracts, but this is just the starting point. So what if you have a small account under $25,000? Is this, we're going to be using day trades to pull these off? Well, yes, these are almost all going to be day trades. So we do have to look at some workarounds, but there are workarounds out there. The first one I have on the list is boxing in your spread. A little complicated, a little hard to wrap your head around, but the basics of it are you're just selling the opposite spread that you sold earlier in the day to lock in your profits. Now, there's one caveat. This is not allowed on Robinhood, but to my knowledge, all the other brokerages do allow it. And we have a full write-up and explanation on how to box in your spread on the Discord, and we're happy to walk you through that. And the second option is just using 2 different brokerages. So the pattern day trading rules, those don't apply to you as a person. They apply to you as a person at each brokerage. So if you have an account with Schwab and you have an account at Tasty Trade, you have 3 day trades with each, and that gives you 6 day trades for the week. And we're only going to use a maximum of 5. So that would be a good option as well. So at the end of the day, what sets this strategy apart is its mechanical nature. Each trade is executed based on a proven system, so you don't need to overthink it. And that means there's less screen time, less stress, and more consistency. I like to think that it's trading without the chaos. And if you're looking for a way to approach the market mechanically, passively, and with confidence, then I encourage you to check out what we're doing. And thanks again for watching. And I look forward to helping everyone who joins to simplify your trading journey.
Sounds good. Thank you for that. Let's go to our faces again so people can see we're real people right here. So that was a phenomenal little presentation there. I think. Thank you very much for putting that up, Phil. That was well put, and I think it helped a lot. We have a lot of questions to be answered. Are you able to see the questions? I can pull them up and put them on the screen so that everybody can see them, and we can read them out as we go, because a lot of people have questions, which is good.
Yeah, while you do that, I'll just put my viewpoint on it. I've been taking Phil's trades for a few weeks now, and it's very straightforward how to enter the trades. He has really good trainings on what to do in different situations where if you close it at a certain time or if you add on an extra 50% of your contracts, or you close it out. And I'm a teacher, so it's a bit busy for me, but I'm able to put in the trade right when it comes in. I put in the take profits, I put in extra positions, and it's all manual. I don't have to be looking through the market the whole day to see what's happening with it. So it's really straightforward and pretty easy to do, even if you have a pretty busy lifestyle of working and whatnot.
For sure. So Ken Lumley's asking, is there any special software or program needed?
No, you can do this on any of the brokerages. You just need Discord. The alerts come through Discord, so you fire that up on your phone or have that on your computer or on your laptop, and yeah, you're good to go. So no special software.
Nothing at all.
The only thing you'll need is to be able to sell credit spreads, which is pretty straightforward in any brokerage. You just have to ask for spread approval there.
Yeah, and so remember, these are simple spreads. They're not complex in any way. They're just like usually two legs, at least from Phil. Lance is also given alerts on this Discord as well. And so Eastern time, William Pruitt is asking Eastern time. So Lance is alerting at 10 Eastern time, and then Phil is alerting at 10:40 Eastern time. So you know when these alerts are coming.
Yep.
Okay, so here we go. Tech Facts Global. Is your win in the system depending on IV and VIX?
Yeah, all that is factored into the trade that we send out every morning and what strikes we pick. But we do trade every day. So I mean, what IV is, what the VIX is, those do play a part, but we do a trade every day, no matter what those numbers are.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. And I love the fact that you have a time frame on it. Like I know that you're going to alert at 10:40 Eastern time. I've been watching your trial in our new Discord and seeing it come out. I'm like, okay, I trade like clockwork, which is what people really want. They don't want random trades where they're busy in a business meeting or something. They want a time that they know things are coming out at. And that's been working really well in other services that I've been helping out with. But this one is particularly exciting because you know what time it's going to be, and it's not right at market open. Volatility's like calmed down a little bit, and things are looking, a little bit more predictable. So, so it's pretty cool. Let's see other questions. Average profit. So Ken Lumley's asking, what's your average profit per trade per contract? That's a good question.
Let's see. So for 2024, the average winner was $119.43, and that is 2 to 3 contracts a day.
Yeah, so pretty straightforward. And can you do this through the TOS software is what Ken Lumley's asking here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we're not talking about span margin or anything crazy like that.
Yeah, I mentioned in comments, I've done all these trades on Robinhood, Thinkorswim, and Tasty Trade, and you could use any of those brokerages. Webull would work as well. Pretty much any brokers that I'm aware of that allows credit spreads, it will work.
Yeah, so Ken Lumley's also asking what's the average loss size. This is an interesting strategy from my point of view in that the losses are fairly significant, but overall, by tons of testing, Phil has come up with a system that it doesn't matter if your losses are large. They're well overwhelmed by the number and the size of the wins. So maybe you could elaborate just a little bit more on that. Everybody wants to know, like, am I going to lose my whole account just because one trade goes wrong? Like, that's going to be something that we can't shy away from, that just has to be, answered here.
Yeah, it's important to be sized appropriately. That's why I said in the presentation that you need to look at 5 to 10% of your account size, trading with that. That gives you enough room to handle the drawdown. And yeah, the average loss is large. It's a little over $800, but like you said, you only have about a 6% chance, at least in 2024 and in 2025, of hitting max loss. So yeah, it's a bunch of small wins that overwhelm all of the losses that come, and that's pretty much with any credit spread strategy or iron condor strategy. It is a higher risk to reward, but it's also a higher win rate. So you really have to look at something more like the expectancy value of each trade. That's what you really want to focus on, instead of focusing on the risk to reward.
Right. And you can see from the questions that we're getting that a lot of people have this thing where they're asking, what is the average win dollar? What is the average loss dollar? And I remember when I first started talking to you, when I first found you, I was exactly the same. And you were like, look, Russell, I've tested this extensively. Look at the data. Like, it does not matter that the average loss is large. We are overwhelming it with the winning. And that is what's key here. So you may think that you're being like insightful and like, oh yeah, maybe he loses his entire account in one trade. It's just not the case. Like
Right.
It really isn't the case. The losses are overwhelmed by the wins completely. And so I just want to stress that because it was one of the first questions I asked you. Remember, Phil, when we first started talking about this?
Yeah.
And it's with these types of strategies, everybody has the same thought process. Oh, he wins 91% of the time, but one loss will wipe out everything. It's just not the case with this strategy. And one of the reasons you told me and seems to be the case here, is the fact that you are basically tested your stop losses and your strategy to the point where you can have a large loss, but it's still easily recoverable.
Yes.
Which is not the case with a lot of these types of strategies. So I was really impressed with that. Just thought I'd say that.
Thank you.
Also, making sure that you're sized appropriately. We have sizing guides on exactly how much contracts you should do based on your account size. You don't want to go full tilt, as I've heard other people say, and use 100% of their account on these. But other than that, it's a good positive expectancy over time.
All right, another question. Do we enter take profit and stop loss along with the open trade, or do we need to monitor until the end of the day? That's a good question. What is the management like? I know there's a couple of rules that you have, and I'm just curious how that can be kind of minimize the work, like in terms of, how that works.
Yeah, you can put these orders in as soon as you fill for the 1040 alert. You can go ahead and put in a take profit order, and you can first of all, there is no stop loss. So you can put in your take profit order, and then you can put in your additional order if the trade goes against us, as we don't stop out, we actually add on. So you can put those on, and yeah, you just need to, get an alert on your phone or something when one of those goes off. So you go in and cancel the other one. I think Lance has been doing that, right, Lance?
Yeah, that's exactly how I do it. So it's 1040. I put in the alert as I see it, and then I put in the take profit, and I also put in the extra alert in case it goes against us a little bit, and then I just wait and see what happens. I personally didn't have any of the time-based exits yet because they all either profited right away or I added on the extra contract, and then that closed out at a profit too.
Yeah. Yes, another question from Ken. He says, how are the afternoon strategy plans shared? Single clear messages, or do we have to monitor a voice or chat channel? I don't know if you're in IWM alerts, but we're being spoiled with voice channels in there. Most Discords, we're not using voice channels, and I'm pretty sure that Phil's not planning to use voice channels for this. It's just clear, concise Discord text alerts.
Yeah, you don't even need it. It's all based on the guides when you join the Discord. It says exactly what to do based on the afternoon strategy, and it's really straightforward, honestly. The simplicity of it is seemingly deceptive, but it's working so well that, might as well keep it easy.
Yeah, and that's what Tom's saying is do you get all the rules and management with this subscription or just the alert? Well, looking at Phil's guides, he gives you the full, like, what do you call it? Like the pilot's manual or something? You call it like you call it something. It's like, you call it something. What is it you call it? You call it like
your bags.
The what?
Is the pack your bags guide, but
Pack your bags guide, yeah, that's right. Your pack, yeah.
Yeah,
See,
and I mean it's simple. It's not like there's hours worth of content you need to go through. I mean, you can pick it up in 5 to 10 minutes. How long did it take you to work through it, Lance?
Yeah, maybe 10
Or you said
minutes.
it twice?
It wasn't long at all, and all the rules in management are very clearly given. Phil has flow charts exactly what to do in different situations, and it's not like this super big flow chart where there's like 80 million things going on. Like, it's very straightforward.
Yep, it's just like what you saw on the slide. There's 3 paths that you can take, and it's
Yeah, and
very
even with the 3 paths, it's all automated afterwards. So
yeah.
once I get the enter in, I'm putting in some of the other paths that might happen already, and then I just go back and teach.
Yep.
yeah. So Shane's asking, do you indicate when you enter, take profit, average up, and exit? That's a good question. I've been watching a little bit, and I'm not sure what the answer is to that. That's an interesting question.
Yeah, you just get the alert at 10:40, and that's when you enter. And the take profit, that's all part of the trade management system. So that's up to you. We give you the guide on how to do that. Averaging up, yep, that's part of the guide as well. All of that is a part of the guide. So yeah, you'll have all that information. It's not directly alerted, but you'll know exactly what to do every day.
And can people assume that you're doing roughly what you're saying to do there, that you're following your own plan, basically?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So that's cool. So you know what he's doing, but he's not having to type it in nonstop, which is perfect because, it makes it easier for you when people can take control over their own trades, but know that they're being guided by somebody who's tested this to the max. So, yeah. Anyway, more questions. Will this live session be recorded? All the live sessions we do on here are always recorded and are on my YouTube channel forever. So you'll be able to come back and rewatch this if you want to rewatch it. So Salem, hey Salem, how's it going? I know you're a big fan of Lance, and I think you'll really enjoy the service as well. How many people in the Discord already? This is a brand new Discord, so you're going to be #1 member, hopefully. We're going to have you come in and be the first member. So Phil's been doing this for a while, but we're starting this joint venture together, and it's a fresh start for everybody. So we're going to see how we can build this quickly and robustly. Very good. All right, more questions. Investor 888, how wide are the spreads, and do you ever take trades into the close? Is taking max loss part of the strategy?
Spreads are 5 wide, and yes, we do path 2, that middle path. You do take your trade into close, and yeah, there are max losses, and they are a part of the strategy. They're already calculated in there. It's just the cost of doing business. That's the way I look at it.
And it's interesting because a lot of people shy away from that, but the results speak for themselves. The back-tested and real results have shown that the way Phil does it is better, despite the fact that you might end up taking a slightly bigger loss. Just to bring this up, and we don't want to minimize this, but Lance is actually going to be in this Discord alerting as 0DTE SPX as well. And he had a fantastic year last year. He did 50% on his account, and that was with a stop loss. So you can choose to take either strategy or both strategies, right, Lance? Like, they could do your strategy, or they could do Phil's, or they could do both. And no disrespect to Lance, but Phil's strategy did 92% and yours did 50%. What that's down to, who knows? But at the same time, Phil's strategy, obviously, without the strict stop loss, maybe for some people, but maybe some people want to do a stronger stop loss and take Lance's approach and maybe sacrifice a little bit of profits there, depending on the year, depending on the market and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, a lot of people watching right now are already in data traders. You probably are aware of how I do my 0DTE. So you're going to have 2 different 0DTE alerts, one from me and one from Phil. And if you're a little bit more risk averse, you could consider doing mine. You could do his. You could do a little bit of both. It's very flexible.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, continuing down, we're just getting question after question here. We'll do the prize draw pretty soon, guys. So if you're in the prize draw, stick around. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. We're only 34 minutes into this live stream, and usually these things go for an hour. And so we're going to do the live draw pretty soon. But just keep in there. We're going to do a few more questions first. So let me see. Daniel has a question. Can you explain or show us how the outside bracket trade is like? The outside bracket trade. Not sure what that means. Do you know what he means, Phil?
I'm not sure.
Not sure what that means. Can you clarify what that means, please, Daniel? The outside bracket trade is like. Maybe you mistyped outside. Maybe it means something else. But yeah. We'll come back to that, Daniel. I'll keep my eye on the chat here and see what people have to say. Okay, more questions. This is great, guys. I'm glad we've got a big audience here tonight, and we're getting lots of people asking questions. This is great. So Kenny's asking, how did this mechanical trading do during the 2022 bear market, or any backtesting during the bear market? Thanks. So that's a question that comes up a lot for a lot of strategies.
Yeah, there was a little bit of testing for 2022 and 2023. I don't have the specific numbers on it because, like I mentioned, if you were here for the slide, I don't do automated back testing or software back testing. This is all manual, so it is extremely time consuming. So yeah, some automated back testing was done on 2022 and 2023 just to make sure that the underlying premise worked. But the manual back testing, I didn't do that on 2022. You have to get that data somehow. That's another hard part of the equation. You have to pay for that data, and it's not always cheap. So yeah, I don't have those stats.
And just because there was a downwards market, you've shown me already from the time that I spent watching your trades that you're very good at predicting the daily movement. So if you're predicting the daily movement, do we really care if it's a bear market or not? Not really.
No, we're selling puts and calls, so it doesn't
matter.
matter.
Zero DTE, you're in the trade, you're out the trade, sometimes as short as an hour. A bear market doesn't actually affect it that much if you're good at what Phil does, and he's really good at it from what I've seen. So,
just a few from the personal experience. Last week, there was quite a few down days, and Phil just goes the call credit spread in many days on that. So the market might be down 1.5%, but you could still make 10-12% on your money based on selling the call credit spread. Phil does only do one side, so either the call credit spread or the put credit spread. If you've seen on my Discord, a lot of days where it's a clear downtrend day, we typically sell a call credit spread as well. I'll occasionally do iron condors, but Phil doesn't. So just be aware of that. The bear market shouldn't have any influence on the results on this.
We're getting so many questions. I'm not going to put them all on the screen. I'm just going to answer the ones that I know straight off the top of my head. Ken Lumley saying, is it SPY or SPX? It's SPX, not SPY. So here's one. David. Hi, David. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Do you train us on how to analyze and trade the strategy ourselves without alerts, or so we could be self-sufficient eventually? I think some of your stuff is proprietary, right? That's kind of.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. So no, I don't do any training on how we come up with the 1040 alert, but the trade management, you'll know how to do all of that on your own.
Ken Lumley's asking put and call spreads. Yep, it can be either depending on the market direction, which is part of your proprietary strategy, right? Whether the market's going to likely go up or down. So slight directionality involved there. I'm going to go through these fairly quickly because we are getting swamped with people here. How are these zero DTE SPX different from what Land sends out every day? It's a different strategy. It's a completely different strategy. Maybe you guys could kind of debate on what's different about your two strategies really quickly.
One of the main differences is I'll occasionally do an iron condor, and Phil only does put or call credit spreads. The times are slightly different. I do mine at 10 o'clock Eastern, and Phil does it at 10:40. I do stop losses. Phil doesn't. Those are the main differences, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We've covered what the average loss is already, so I'm not going to put that up on the screen yet. Turnkey trading, good to see you again. You're here on a lot of these webinars. How do you know when to exit? That's a good question.
Yeah, we give you all that information. It's not alerted, but you are given the trade management plan up front, so you'll know exactly when to exit, what price you need to exit at, all that good stuff.
In the beginning, first few weeks, as you guys need help on it, I'm definitely will help you guys saying like, hey, look, I just closed here or I added a position. But once you get the hang of it, it won't even take a few weeks. You'll know exactly what to do.
Yeah, it's pretty easy from what I saw. I've been watching for a while before this presentation. Ken Lumley saying minus 800 per contract or a 300 or sorry, 3 lot. That's for 3 contracts, right? Roughly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're 5 wide, so you couldn't
Right.
lose 800 on one. But yeah, it would be 3.
Lots of questions from Ken. Are these credit spreads or butterflies? They're all credit spreads. There's no butterflies involved. So pretty straightforward. Tom is asking, do you share your 2024 log like Lance does? Yeah, you shared it with me, Phil. Do you happen to have the link available? I haven't kept track of it. I can always post it in the chat for you.
I'm gonna have to dig it up. Let's see. Maybe you can go on to another question while I.
Yeah, if you work on that, we can always post it in the chat further on. Needless to say, Tom, his 2024 log was extremely profitable. He made 92% on his account, and you can see every single trade there. So we'll get that to you somehow, whether it's on today's webinar in the next little bit, or whether you have to email me or Lance or Phil about it. We'll get it to you. It's there, it's transparent, and it is what it is. So let's see. Let's see. So, would you be able to use a prop account for something like this? Nope, you can't use a prop account for this style of trading. Unfortunately, they don't allow sell side trading. So, prop accounts are out for that. Unfortunately, I wish they did, but they don't. Let's keep going. So, Neil Graham is asking, how often have you had 2 to 3 losses in a row? It's a good question because it psychologically would affect you if you had 2 or 3 losses in a row. I haven't seen many, if any, in any of your data that you've showed me, but there must have happened at some point, right?
Oh, no.
In a row? No, I haven't seen that. I mean, I've seen multiple in 1 month. I'm looking through the data right now. The only time we had 2 losses was September 16th and 17th. And that was a small loss on the 16th. That was just $70. And then the 17th was a full loss.
Okay. Cool. All right. Sorry about the fast pace here, guys, but we have so many questions and we still haven't even drawn the winner yet. So just stick around. We're going to draw the winner pretty soon for the person who wins the 3-month subscription. But these questions are helpful because it really helps people understand what they're getting into if they decide to purchase the system, which, by the way, will be at the lowest possible prices, given that this is a launch. You guys know how I work if you come to my webinars. With Lance, with David from IWM Alerts, we do the lowest possible prices on the launch nights and within a few days of the launch. So hopefully you guys stick around while we go through the rest of the questions here. So I'm going through, can you scale down to 3 trades a day? Let's see what this one is. Can you scale down to 3 trades per day to avoid using multiple brokerages?
You don't necessarily have to. You could do the box roll. I know that was another question where you could box in your trade and then use all 5 days.
Okay, hopefully that answers the question. JF says, do you also close the trades or you let them expire? Meaning, will I need 25,000 in my account not to have a pattern day trader rule? Is I'm guessing what you're trying to say there.
Yeah, you don't need the 25,000 to do these. If you do the box trade, it won't count as a day trade, and or you can do multiple brokerages.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here to post the 2024 results that Phil just sent me. So Phil just sent me his 2024 results. So for you guys that want to look through it, I'm just about to post it in chat here. So it should be popping up as a shared Google Docs file in the chat. You can look through and see, and hopefully that can direct any more questions going forward here. So let me just give me a second. I just need to find out where I left off with the questions. Here we go. All right. So, do you indicate when you take profits? Do you indicate when you take profit and size up? No, but it's in the rules, right, Phil? Like it's like
Right.
you give them the trade plan, and they have to follow the trade plan. Is basically the thing. You're not going to sit around on Discord all day and say, "Hey guys, I'm sizing up now," or whatever. You just
Right.
do it when you get the chance because you're a busy guy with all your
Yeah. And you set that order. You already know what those orders are going to be, and you set them right when you get into the trade, and that helps you too. So I'm not staring at the screen. You're not staring at the screen. The orders, they're already in there and they're ready to go. And then you just cancel the other order when one fills.
Yeah, it's you enter the trade at 10:40. You put in your take profit order as just a good till canceled order. It's really a day order in the end because it's 0 DTE, and then it just profits. So you don't have to be watching to see. Oh, now I should close it. Just let it do it automated. I see a lot of people in different services where they're just looking at the prices constantly, and then they make irrational decisions at times where they're closing when they probably shouldn't be. So this is all automated.
Yeah, I always say just close it, walk away from SPX. If you want to go trade something else, do that. But yeah, don't look at it. That's the best advice I can give you, because you're going to jump out too early or take profits too quick. It's best just to walk away and let the math work for you.
Cool. Andy Stockwell says, how many times has assignment happened? And there's no assignment on SPX, so never.
Right.
So,
That's right.
so yeah, interesting questions, guys. Guys are really into it tonight. Can we use XSP instead? That's interesting.
I wouldn't. I haven't tested it. I don't know if the liquidity is there. Does XSP, do they have dailies? Expiration?
Yeah. The problem with it is the bid-ask spreads are usually wider than SPX, and you only need $500 per contract anyway on a 5-wide credit spread. So you're not really saving any funds doing SXP in the end. I'm pretty sure the back testing would be a lot better on SPX the way it is, just based on slippage and getting worse fills of XSP.
Yeah, and you have a wider range that you can work with. That's why I don't do this on SPY. There's also the tax advantage to trading with SPX, but yeah, you have more strikes that you can choose from with SPX, so that makes it better. I've tested this with SPY, and it has profitable results, but not as profitable as SPX. So that's why I said SPX.
Ken Lumley's asking, are these credit spreads or butterflies? We've been over that. It is credit spreads. They're not butterflies whatsoever. So yeah. So going through, Rick has a good question here, and I want to make sure we differentiate the difference here. So this is a spin-off or a joint venture with Phil. And so Rick is saying, to be clear, Lance, you're adding a new 0 DTE channel for this strategy. No, this is not part of Theta Traders. This is a collaboration or joint venture with Phil. And so this is not part of your Theta Trader subscription. This is a completely different service. Lance is just acting as part of this service as a new spin-off from Theta Traders. As a bonus, essentially, which is phenomenal. Like Lance as a bonus if you're getting Lance as a bonus, you're doing really well. I want Lance as a bonus in the rest of my life. Not just
So, just to make it clear, if you currently have 0 DTE in Theta Traders, I'm sending the exact same alert in this new Discord as well. If you don't have 0DTE and you're part of Theta Traders and a different service like Consistent Passive Profits, Safeguard, stuff like that, you could join this and then get the 0DTE that I give and Phil gives all in one place as well.
Yeah. And to make this crystal clear, Phil is a phenomenal expert at this. He is the best out of everybody I found apart from Lance. Obviously, I got to say that, Lance, right? At 0DTE SPX. This is a service that you will love. Like, it's going to be phenomenal, and I think you'll be really impressed with the results you get from it. Anyway, boxers or briefs, Ken Lumley says. Well, neither. All right, let's do there's so many questions here. Let's do the prize draw, so at least we can put some people out of their misery, the people that just want to know whether they've won something that's free or not. So what I was thinking is, I'm just looking at the list of people that signed up for the prize draw here. We're going to continue with the questions. So if you have questions, don't worry, we're going to keep going. I just want to make sure that we get the prize draw done, because we're already nearly an hour in here, and I want to make sure that the people that are only here because they want to win the subscription for free are able to have a good night's sleep tonight. So, so here's the deal. I have a list in front of me, which is all the signups that we've had over the last few days since we started promoting this. If Lance could give me a number between 1 and 50, I will announce the winner of the prize draw here.
I'm going to go with a prime number here. I'm pretty sure it's prime. 37?
All right, you're going to make me count because I don't have this in an Excel spreadsheet. I have to count all the way down. 1,
the higher prime, I guess.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Did you say 32?
37.
37.
32 is not a prime. You divide by 2.
34, 35, 36, 37. All right, I actually recognize this name. So, Mr. Brett Tyre, you've won the subscription for 3 months for the new 0DTE SPX income spread system. I recognize the name, Brett Tyre, and I will be sending you an email confirming that you have won, just in case you're still not on the live stream here. But don't go anywhere. We still have a lot to talk about, and I want to make sure you guys have a chance to join the service at the lowest possible price. So just because you haven't got the free system here doesn't mean, that you should just disappear from the stream here. Although we'll probably see some people drop off. But here's the thing. The people that really want this and really see the value in it are going to stay until the end of these questions, and then they're going to make a smart, informed decision on whether they're going to buy or not. So let's go through the remainder questions, and then we'll go from there. All right, so let's see. What other questions do we have?
There's not too many more.
No, not too many more. Yahya is saying, I'm in, guys. We'll post the link. How about I post the link to join the quarterly or the yearly and the lifetime subscription now, so that you guys that just want to buy can just get in? Because let's face it, this thing works, and it's going to work for everybody that tries it. So I don't want people to miss out. So I'm going to post the link now in the chat here. If you're watching this in the afterwards, so if you're watching this tomorrow, for example, so after we finish, this will be in the description below. This is the link we have. These are the best possible prices you can get in on Phil's and Lance's 0DTE SPX income spreads. That is the link right there. Again, if you're watching this tomorrow or the day after or just after this live, it'll be in the description below the video, not in the chat. You'll see it in the chat, but also in the description. So so that's the link to go and join. Let's go through the questions that are remaining and see if we can convince anybody else that this is worth their time and energy, which I 100% guarantee that it is. So let's have a look and see. Just looking up, so we're still going up here. There's so many questions here. Are there credit spread and butterflies? We did all that. Can you scale down? We did all that. Do you indicate when you take profit and size up? We did all that. Are these credit spreads or butterflies? We did all that. Prop accounts? We did all that. So just one. All right, here. So Aaron is asking one here. Let's see. So here's Aaron's question. She said, just want confirmation on the 92%. If you start with a $10,000 account and do 2 to 3 contracts per trade, the 92% means at the end of the year, you would be 92% of 10,000K, which would be $19,200. That's about right, except with commissions, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. So that's, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but that's how it works out to be. So, yeah. Yeah, so we're going to go through the landing page in just a few minutes. I'm just going to finish off the questions here really quick. Let's see where we're at. Let's see. So looking at the log, total profit suggests your 91 is based on a $10,000 account. Let's just go through this last question, then we'll go through the landing page together and see what value you guys can see from the different subscription levels. So Yak says, looking at the log, total profit suggests your 91.96% return is based on a 10K account size. If you're unlucky and started on September 5th, you would have a minus 365, minus 3,685 drawdown by roughly 37%. That's the case with any trading strategy. Anything in life, you could be hit by a meteorite, you know. It's just how it is. I mean, you can't escape that. I know people that have started and had a drawdown and then gone on to make hundreds of thousands of dollars from a strategy. So it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. You just have to take these chances. This is why we're traders. This is why we do risk management. You could possibly have 5 losses in a row. Technically, all the air in your room can move into one corner, like the statistics. And it's true.
Yeah.
Lance is a science teacher. You know this, right? Like the statistics.
Oh, yeah.
All
It's the same with mine too. Last year I made almost 50% on 0 DTE. We had some rough spots where we might have lost 15, 20% in a couple of weeks or a month. But you have to think of the long-term mindset. If you looked at the same numbers from September 5th to today, we're still at a good profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've gone through all of this stuff. So what we're going to do now is share the landing page, which I put together. Hopefully I can find it because I'm really tired and I've had a long week trading. It feels like Friday is like Tuesday or something.
Yeah.
Let me just pull up the landing page if I can manage to figure out how to share my screen. So I'm going to remove this, going to present my screen, and then we can talk about what value you get at different levels in terms of like what subscription you want to do. I'm having some trouble. I think I need to upgrade my laptop a little bit. It's like I think I'm running out of RAM for a lot of things. Yeah, my computer is completely frozen at the moment. Let me just check this. So let's get rid of this. So I'm going to kick that from studio. Get that out. Just give me one more shot here, guys. It shouldn't be this hard. Okay, window. Here we go. All right, I got it. It'll be coming up any minute. All right, so hopefully you guys can see on the screen here the 0 DTE SPX spreads. So this is the landing page, and I'm going to post the landing page one more time into the chat here so you guys can join, because that's the whole point of this presentation, is that you guys can actually take advantage of the system. And we'll do a few more questions as well, but I just want to make sure that you guys actually have the option to join tonight, because the rates do go up slowly. So if you guys aren't familiar, what I usually do with services that I'm involved with, like this one, is the launch rates are the best rates you'll ever get, and they go up slowly, sometimes not that slowly from there. So yeah, anyway, let's go through this one right here. So basically, do you want proven daily income generating 0 DT SPX spreads? This is the 92% ROI in 24, 91% win rate. I'm saying 2 consistent and predictable SPX trades, because one is Lance at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So for people that don't want to maybe risk as much, but don't maybe want that same huge reward as possible, you might want to try Lance's. Maybe you have a small account. You maybe want to have a stop loss in there. You're just not comfortable yet with the whole system that Phil has just talked about. However, it's worth graduating to Phil's system because at 10:40 every day Eastern time, these are the stats that Phil was talking about, that you can really see this linear, and there really isn't much of a drawdown. This is a linear plot versus if you'd invested in SPY and QQQ, which is phenomenal. It's such a much better return. It's just so much better. So if you look through this page, you'll see the other stuff on here. But the key stuff is down the bottom here. You can join the 0DTE SPX income spread system for $150 a month. I wouldn't suggest doing that. I would suggest doing the quarterly, which is only $300 a month. So you're saving a significant amount of income doing that. You could put that towards actually trading. Do the quarter. And the reason for this is not because we want more of your money. It's literally because people that take that action and actually, get involved in the system and put it to use for more than just a couple of weeks or 3 weeks and then cancel, tend to do a lot better overall. So when you see these tiered systems like this, it's usually because people that do better the longer that they take the subscription for. So the people we see that buy lifetime, like this bottom one, this lifetime for $1,500, all the lifetime members I know for all the services I've been involved in do far better than the people that just join for a month and then they cancel. They set it to cancel within a week. And so these are the different levels that you can subscribe to. These will go up over time. The system is worth a lot of money, and we're given an absolute bargain. For example, and I don't like to badmouth people here, but there are people out there that are considered industry experts. Like there's a guy called David Jaffe. He charges $300 per month for a service that doesn't deliver this type of quality. And I like David. I'm friends with David. He's a good guy. But I think he's overcharging for what you can actually get if you look for services that are more niche, like this one offered by Phil and Lance. So this is something that you should definitely jump on, especially if you've tried something like David Jaffe's service. David's a great guy, not badmouth him. He can charge what he likes. But for $300, you could get a quarter of the subscription service instead of just 1 month of David Jaffe's. So hopefully that gives you some idea of what you can get for your money here. These are not hard numbers to make up in terms of profit. Maybe Phil can talk a little bit about how much capital you would need to recoup these costs if you were to join the subscription.
The monthly or the lifetime?
Well, so for example, to make $150 monthly or $300 quarterly, maybe go with the quarterly. Do you have a feel off the top of your head how much capital you would need to make a profit on top of that roughly? I know it's a big ask for you just off the top of your head, but just rough numbers. You're making about 92% a year, so you can kind of extrapolate from there. So
yeah, the last couple of trades we've made have been $150 each in profit. So a couple of trades and you're there, and that's on a $10,000 account.
Right. So that's phenomenal. And so Lance and I were talking a little bit about this, and we honestly, like with these, I call them microservices because we're not these big fancy companies that are charging $5,000 a time. Like the value here is unprecedented. Like the value to get in with people like Phil is not normal. Phil could go and work with one of these big companies like Raging Bull or one of these huge companies and charge 3 to 5 times the cost for these subscription services, where you only have the choice for lifetime, and that's actually would be a yearly cost. If you do the lifetime, and I highly recommend it because once you commit, you tend to do better overall. It's just the way human nature works. You also get a bonus one-on-one Zoom call with Lance, and if you guys know Lance, you'll know the value that he can provide on a one-on-one Zoom call is phenomenal. So definitely check it out. Yeah, so Rick, it's one-on-one with Lance to do the system. So Lance has traded Phil's system enough that he understands it fully, and he could really help you with both his own 0DTE stuff, but also with Phil's 0DTE stuff as well. So yeah. So just looking at the comments, people are saying they traded with David Jaffe and agreed. David, don't get me wrong, I'm not bad-mouthing David Jaffe. I actually know him quite well. My wife knows him. He's a good guy. He sells options. He does well. I'm just kind of pointing out the differences in the pricing here for some people. It's a much more fairly priced. At least that's what we try and do with Lance and Phil and other people I work with. So, yeah.
Just an FYI, I already got 4 different people asking me that are already in Theta Traders for the links. So if you're currently in Theta Traders, send me a message on Discord and I'm sending out the lifetime link. Also for this lifetime deal, this will be the only time that we're going to be offering it. I think we said it'll be by Friday this week. And then after that, we're going to be removing lifetime access.
Yeah, and there's a few reasons for that. It's like people need to get paid what they're worth. And if somebody's making 92% a year or 50% a year, or both in this case, paying somebody $300 a quarter is a bargain. So I hope you guys can see the value. I really see the value, and I'm just really excited to be part of the system with these guys and learning from them and taking the trades along with them. So, yeah. Any other questions? So we should wrap it up pretty soon. We've been going over an hour. Hopefully you guys can see the value here and let us know if you have any final questions, and then we can wrap it up. So Casey is asking, do you recommend a trading platform? Thinkorswim is just fine.
Yeah, Thinkorswim is fine. Robinhood, Tasty Trade, Webull. I personally was using Thinkorswim for most of these, but I was testing them out on all the brokerages and it works fine.
Yeah, and this will be recorded. It'll be replayed. I'm pretty sure if you're on my email list, you guys will get this replay sent out to you at least once. Or if you're in any of the Discord, you'll get this as well. So, yeah. Anyway, with that, why don't we wrap up? It looks like the questions have run out. We're over an hour. Hopefully you've had all your questions answered. If you don't, then you can still email Lance or myself without any problems whatsoever. Just message us on Discord, send us an email, and we'll get you hooked up with this system. Should be good. Well, thanks very much, Phil, for your time, and your presentation at the start was phenomenal. Like, given a really well done recorded little spiel there was really nice, and I think that helped people understand what your value is that you're offering quite well.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, cool. All right, guys, thanks a lot, and enjoy the rest of your night. And the recording will be available instantaneously, Casey, so you'll be able to see this as soon as we hang up this call. It'll be available on my YouTube channel, and hopefully you can go back through it and ask us any questions if you have any. And hopefully you guys sign up and check this amazing strategy and service out. I think you're going to really like it, and I would definitely jump on this if you get a chance. All right, good night, everybody. We're going to hang up now and enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll hopefully talk to you guys soon.
All right, good night, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Good night.